How's it everybody? Welcome back to Coral Reeches. It's Sanctum Gamer here, and we are looking down on the town that we basically finished off in the last video, where we built all of these houses that sit along on the water. And I got a couple of comments about some of the stuff, which I thought I would just talk about very quickly. So somebody mentioned the fact that houses like this along a river will generally have, docks, and they will have views of the ocean or the sea or the river or whatever the case may be. And I fully agree with that sentiment. That is not at all a lie. However, it is just not the look I was going for. So I really wanted all of these areas to be fully covered in foliage. But also on top of that is, I don't know of any decent dock assets that I can use to build decent looking piers coming off of these houses. I decided, you know what, this is the aesthetic that I'm going to go for, and at some point in the future, when we get decent small looking docks and piers and stuff, we can build a place like this, but a little bit more upper class, with the piers and tiny little boats and so on. In the absence of being able to put small boats around here, I feel like just having these things sitting here are rather boring, honestly. I don't like the way any of this looks, but I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it. The second thing is that somebody mentioned that this road over here is basically completely blocked, and they were wondering if this would not affect the flow of water and whether this entire area wouldn't dry out eventually. Now my answer to that is no, it won't, because as far as I know, when there's a quay on the side of the road, it doesn't serve as an obstruction to the water. The water is actually still flowing through underneath. This is just a visual thing. That is how I know it to be. But I can understand how and what this would look like from afar, the fact that it will just look like it's completely blocked. So I think I will go ahead and convert. Ooh, why is this white stuff back? Let me turn that off. I will go ahead and convert this to an elevated segment so that we have what looks like an actual bridge, and hopefully that should then alleviate that little concern. Today, I want us to start off by sorting out a couple of things in this place, and then we're gonna move over to the agenda of today. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to get some public transport coming into this place. So I want to connect up Sunnyside with the main city, but I want to do it through the industrial area. I'm going to grab a bus stop, and I'm not sure if it will look better here or here. So I'm going to pick somewhere and put it, and if anybody feels a very strong way about it being here, do let me know, and we might just move it to a different location. So we're going to put the bus stop over on the side, and then I'm going to go ahead and connect up this bus stop with the main city, and we'll connect it through this terminal that we have over on this side. I think we can just make use of that one. And then we can bring it all the way out into the downtown area. And I think I'll connect it to the boat harbor so that it's another area for people to be able to enter publicly. So we've got that stop over there, and it will come right back, and it will stop here as well again. Lastly, we will conclude it all over on this side. I think the only thing I'm not happy about is the fact that this is like this. So maybe we'll be better off rather having the stop on this side, and then we can move this over to here. And then I think this connects up a little bit better. And I'll leave that stop there. Maybe we'll connect this up to another part of the world. Maybe connect up this town with this town. But let's leave that for a future date. The other thing that I was looking at, and I'm going to turn the white screens back on, is I'm going to pull up our communications tab, and you'll notice that we have basically no mail service coming through here. This is another thing that I'm finding very odd. I don't know if anybody has seen this, is that my mail service availability always sits here. It doesn't matter what I do. Even if I put down more what's this, sorting facilities and all that, it's always just sits there. But let's go ahead and basically sort this area out. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to reclaim some of this area, which is mainly just farmland, and convert this area into a mill, whatever. Turn off the white screen. I don't know what I'm saying. And I thought I would put a post office right here in this corner, so then it will serve all of this area, because I think we're running low on post offices. Let's add an expansion over on this side of the road. So we grab a storage extension. Maybe we put a storage extension over here, and maybe a van one over on this side. But I think I'm going to freehand this one so that I can line it up nicely, and then it can sit right over there. And I think this will be a nice functionality for this entire area. And if I turn my white screens back on and I go and look at it, we are fairly covered very well. So I can go ahead and just put a mailbox on this side. I'll put one more on this side, and then that gives me a nice green space where all of these areas are well covered. The only other place that needs some postal services is over on this area. So this is where we built this beautiful parking building that is actually a unique building. As you could see from here, it is pretty red. So I figured I'll put a mailbox or two in this area, and maybe one here. God, why would there be a mailbox right in front of this building? Maybe let's hide it at the back over there. And then I think that should help cover a lot of the areas in this space that require postal services. Okay, let's put one more right here. So with that, we should have mail service covering the vast majority of our map. And as we build out over here, we'll put more over on that side. So with the postal stuff sorted out, I just want to address one last thing, which is the rate of mail processing. Now, the processing rate is much lower than the mail rate, which I'm assuming is because I don't have a big enough sorting facility. I just need to reclaim quite a bit of land, because this is quite a big building and this is quite a hilly area. So let me go ahead, grab this, and let's plonk that over on the side. And then I'm going to go and upgrade this. Just give it one or two storage extensions, one over there. And this is extra loading ramps, which I think is fine. We can do that. And let's give it whatever this extension is to help it sort things faster, I think. We've got another postal sorting facility in. We've got two of them. And the reason I like the look of this building is that it's playing nicely into the big warehouse type style buildings that I want to have in this area, which I think is fantastic. And then I will just continue developing this entire area out like a giant industrial area, and we'll figure out a way to blend it all in with places like this hill and so on. But as you see, as I plonk this down, this has not really moved much. So I don't know. I really don't know what affects this. But I'm going to leave this to run. If I don't forget, at the end of the video, we'll come back in and check and see if those numbers have adjusted any bit. Oh, one more thing I want to do. So I'm going to turn my white screen back on. In fact, if I go back into communications, right? And we go into Telecom, notice how red all of these places. And it doesn't matter what I put. If I try and put any of these telecom towers and stuff down here, it still remains red. So I think this would be a nice place to actually have my server farm sitting somewhere around on this side. And the fact that I'm already setting this place up to have these nice big buildings means that this will be a very, very nice place for me to have my server farm. So I'm going to extend this road out. I'm going to grab the server farm and I'm going to plonk it down right here. Let's go ahead. Let's give it all of these upgrades. So we've got fiber optic cables, which do something. They increase coverage area, and then server upgrade also should hopefully increase server area. Now, if I look at my coverage, I am now mostly green in this space, which means that I can go ahead and start grabbing things like the Telecom tower. I think if I can put down 1 or 2 of these, this is the smaller one, yes. So if I can put 1 or 2 of these in some of these spaces, I think we should have better coverage around all of these areas. So this is actually looking good. This is the first time I'm seeing green around places like this. That makes me happy. It really makes me happy. I think I can just find anywhere I can plonk these down. Let me go ahead and plonk them down so that we have nice green spaces. Let's put one down in this corner. I'll deal with this one in the live stream. Let's give this town some sort of coverage, maybe over on this side. We should have beautiful coverage. And then over in the city, I'll probably put a radio mast on top of this hill once I figure out all the developments that I'm going to do around here. But I think overall, that should help with communications coverage a lot more, and hopefully should not be a detractor. Great, it's not a detractor at all in my region, which is awesome. I am happy. We can turn our attention to the order of today. So the agenda of the day, what I want to do is I want to kickstart development in this area and start working towards blending the main downtown of the city together with this outskirts area. Basically, not surrounded, man. Fitting in the middle is this massive industrial corridor that's going to be over there. So this is my focus for today. I'm hoping that I can try and fill in quite a chunk of this area. I'm just going to do massive developments, expand the area out. There's going to be some mid-density over on this side, and then see if I'll get around to blending it into the industrial area, or if I'll expand it out towards the sea, because I want to have some beach houses and a proper beach now developed around this area. That is the plan. So we're gonna kickstart off with connecting up the roads over here, and then we're gonna transition ourselves over into this space where we're going to start the main core of this area. Alright, so this is quite an impromptu little build. I wasn't sure whether I was going to squeeze something in here or not, but in the end, I'm happy that I did. I really enjoy little builds like this, which just, they're nothing big, but they help add more life and character to a place. Because once this whole area gets developed, this place doesn't just look like I got lazy and just dumped a bunch of, I don't know, trees in there and just left it at that. But instead, I managed to squeeze in a small little industrial building, which at least is not giving off smog, so that is good. And we've got shops in here, and I'm hoping that the pollution here is not going to be too bad, and I should be able to develop this area out. If I am not able to develop this area out, then I will probably come back and clear it out. But otherwise, we've we've laid out roads. I don't know what is up with my tongue. It wants to say what my brain is not thinking. Anyways, we've added a whole bunch of roads in this space, and it's now ripe for us to start development. And I think what I'm going to do is that I'm going to start around here with a nice big sort of like central downtown area. But before I get to that, I thought I would grab an education building, grab the school, and I think I will use the high school over on this side. Not as a high school, but just as one of those buildings that adds some character to the place, and it also sort of makes this area come alive a little bit in terms of some heavy development. And then we'll come around to the back here and do something over there at some point in time. What I also want to grab then is the elementary school, which, ooh, that's nice. This squeezes in here perfectly. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say this is some kind of a tiny little strip mall or something of the sort, which sits over here, and let's squeeze it in and boom. And I will grab the expansion, and I think I can get the expansion to sit on this side, right against the main road over here. And you know what, let's plonk it down and see how that looks. I think that's fine. I think this looks all right. That looks good enough. And then we'll just grab our road that we've got in this space, and I'll just drag it all the way back, and I think that should work. And then at least we've managed to squeeze in an elementary school, and then over here will be a bit of the medium density development. So just before we get started, I got this new mod, the zone color changer, which is something I've been wanting for quite a while now. It's a way of basically dimming down the colors of these zoning cells. So if you do not know about it, it is pretty cool. So I can go and lighten these a little bit so that it's not so like bright in my face when I'm doing stuff, which I think this is so much better. And I basically do the same for the zone cells so that it's not so prominent when I zone things. So yeah, I thought I would share that. Anybody who wants to get their hands on that mod, go ahead and grab it. I think it's called Zone Color Changer if I'm not mistaken. All right, everybody, let me start looking for buildings. Let's start plonking stuff down, and let's see how this whole area will turn out. Alrighty, I want to try and get an idea of where things are at right now, because I've been building for a little bit and I'm not sure if everything is coming together the way I envisioned, because I need to have a nice transition between a high density, medium density coming to the low density. And looking at it, I think it is turning out perfectly. Perfect, because as I cross this road, I want to get this to become more of this low density area. So most of this is going to be low density. So I think it is coming together nicely. The transition coming from these ones into these ones. And because this is meant to be more of a developed area, I'm trying to keep some of the houses basically the same. So it looks like it is planned developments. Only thing I don't like is that these sort of places don't have trees, and I want them to have trees, man. Come on. How can we have like neighborhoods like this without any trees? Like, trees are the things that make neighborhoods in my opinion. Alrighty. So that's that. This is going to be a very, very funky area for me. The fact that this is just going to be an empty spot, I'm gonna have to see how I'm gonna deal with that. A thing that I've been wondering about is why on earth nobody ever uses these parking lots. Like, I don't get it. I don't know if I'm using the wrong roads or what, but from what I can tell, it's got footpaths, isn't it? It should be this. Or is it this one? Let's get rid of this, and let me try and use this one and see. I think this might be the one. I think this might be the one I'm supposed to use that has pedestrian paths as well, because without the pedestrian paths, people will not come and use it because there's no way for them to get from the parking spot to the rest of their destination. So I'm gonna try and change it to these ones, because I thought I was using the right ones, but I think I might have been using the wrong one. Ooh, whoa, hello. I think we might have some footpath clashes. There we go. They might drive over the over the parking lot itself, but at least it's working, I hope. Okay, let's see. There we go. Now we started using. People have started using it. Okay, so note to self: it is this one with a 2-lane pedestrian. This one is just a car path. That is the one that I want to use. So I must just remember that. I love the fact that there are some cars actually using the bus station parking spots, which is awesome. Like, imagine how cool it's going to be the day when all these parking lots starts working. I think it's gonna come together so beautifully. So far so good. Things are coming along. Let me continue the development, and before the end of this video, if I do not forget, we are going to go ahead and we are going to name this park and this development based on suggestions that I got from viewers who watched that video. All right, everybody, this is turning out very well. Let's continue the expansion. right, everybody, we've built. And I don't know why, but I wanted to squeeze this poor chappie's house right here. And it's so nice. I love the fact that as soon as I put this path in, I see people starting to use it, which is cool. I designated this area as a hangout spot, and I really hope to see people hanging around here. Oh, I see what these people are doing. They're using it to access the back of their house. Oh, that is so dope. I'm just happy that I have built something and the people are actually using it. It's not just there for the sake of being there, which I always think is awesome. I just want to plonk down a couple of these. What are these cracked things? So this whole area is meant to be not the most ideal place to live. As you can see, they're like right next to these sort of industries. You could look at it as industry starting to creep into this place or whatever. And this area isn't meant to be the best place, but guys, come on, we built this and I think that looks good. One thing that I don't know if many people realize is that as I'm building all of this, I myself have no idea how it's going to look like until I'm done. So I love the surprise of when I finish building everything and then I finally manage to zoom out and then see how everything has come together. I mean, I think this looks awesome. I am very, very happy with how all of these row houses have blended in with the existing, what's this, bus depot, which is something that I wanted to maintain. I didn't want to get rid of it. Just like this tram depot, I don't want to get rid of it. So I'm going to blend this area also into this space. We're going to have a little more residential area just tucked in at the back here. Not really the best place, but people live here anyway. I see I'm starting to get a couple of people that are falling sick around here, and I know I haven't put down a clinic anywhere in this vicinity, right? Yes, I have none whatsoever. But I don't know if you saw during the builds, there were quite a number of helicopters that came landing in as a way of attending to the people, which I really think is super, super awesome. So because of that, I know I don't need to stress too much about healthcare, but you know what? We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna plonk a healthcare facility maybe right here. But first, let's just see something. I need to make sure that I can get a road that can come in off of here right down this path perfectly. Great. So that at least will cover that. And then with that, I can go ahead and put down a clinic over here, offering these people a little bit of, help if they need it. We will expand this fully, and I think that's going to look pretty good. And then around this area, we're going to squeeze in more of these row houses as we continue to skyrocket the population and then blend everything together. But I love the way it's all looking. So let's get started with a couple of road layouts here, and then let's fill out everything from the space right up until the high school. And then I think we will be calling it quits for the day. All right, I think we are done. Let's see. Hoo-hoo. I think the area is filled out. These buildings are rather monotonous though. Ooh. The number of these bus depot extensions, extra garage, whatever it's called, does make this place stand out quite a lot like a sore thumb. But I think it's fine. For now, I'll leave it. I don't think it's too bad of a look. I think it still fits in all right. We'll just see how it looks like once I do the expansion over on this side, and if it still sticks out like a sore thumb, then I might just go back and modify some of this area. But otherwise, I think this area has come together. I am trying to just get 1 or 2 roads to cross the railway line. I think that gives it just a little bit more realism. And then over here, I thought I would do a little bit of planned development builds, and I'm thinking of creating a few more of these in and around this area, and in maybe the space, because I think this is going to be mostly low density, but definitely more planned developments, because this, I think, is what really gives a place, life. And I'm actually quite excited about the way this looks like from afar. But otherwise, everybody, I think we are good with the space. It's a nice narrow corridor now that has been filled in, and in the next video we will either expand with a little bit of residential here or do some development around here. I already have plans for what I would like to do here, so I can't wait to get that going. One thing I would like to do is I would like to add a couple more tram stops. So this place has now developed out quite a lot, so I want to see if I can stick in a tram stop or 2. I think 1 in this corner will be good. So if we can get 1, maybe I'm actually not sure. This is fine, it's not the end of the world. So let's get 2 stops there, and then I think I want to get 1 more, maybe right in front over on this side as well. And then we connect these up, and hopefully with that we should have this place being a little bit more connected. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Connect and connect. Okay, there. I think those 2 have connected up nicely. And then let's try this one. Grab, connect, and connect. Great stuff. So now we've got enough stops now for, I think that should cover enough of this area. And then we'll probably have 1 more stop around here once we do the development in that space. Lastly, before we call it quits for the day, I thought I would give this area a name, and thank you so much to everybody who gave suggestions. For this video, I think I am going to just pick the ones that I like, and in the next one we can do something like a poll. We'll start with the main park, and the name suggestion that I got for this was Highland Park, and this is because of this little mountain / hill that sits right here next to the park. And this suggestion came from Mingo K19. So Mingo K19, thank you so much for the suggestion. Let's go ahead, let's put a little district around it and give it the name. Thank you so much, Mingo K19, for that name suggestion. Finally, we have this spot right here, and the name that I have chosen for this area is North Point. This was suggested by James Yego 7163. Sorry if I butchered that name. And the whole point behind the name was because of this road that extends out, it looks like it's pointing in some kind of cardinal direction. And so if that was the case, then the suggestion was a north point or south point. But in my mind, this is towards the north, and therefore North Point is a name that I am going for this area. Let's put a district around it. And with that, we've got the name for these 2 areas. Thank you all so much for the name suggestions. I really, really appreciate it. And with that, everybody, we are calling it quits for today. I love my expansion. I am happy with it. And I can't wait in the next video to resume and continue just spreading all of this area out. So thank you all so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you've been here a while and you haven't done so already. Don't forget to turn on the bells and notifications, all of that good stuff, so that you do not miss a single video going forward. Big thanks to all of my patrons and YouTube members for all the extra support that you continue to choose to show the channel. It is truly, truly appreciated. Enjoy the beautiful cinematics of our new area, and I shall catch you all in the next one. Cheers, everybody.